Hello, my name's Chloe. I'm the Active Program Manager at Only About Children. My role at OAK is to write the OAK Active curriculum and support the educators to embed the program in campus. I have many years' experience working with children in sports coaching, program development and exercise science. OAK Active is an educator-led physical activity program. We work on 12 different skills throughout the year, and there's a different program for the nursery, toddler and preschool age children. We ask that you do OAK Active a minimum of 3 times a week, ideally daily. The duration of the activity is determined by the children's interest. It can be as little as 5 minutes or can go on as long as their attention span allows. Quarterly guides are provided to you, and you can access these through Storypark, OAK Hub or through your director. Each quarter we work on 3 different skills, for example, hand-eye coordination, balance and teamwork, and provide 10 activities for you to work through. I'll take you through the guides in detail in a moment. We also provide the OAK Active kit to your campus. Every activity we do in OAK Active uses the OAK Active equipment, and it's up to you guys as a campus to work out where it's best to store this. We just ask that you keep it separate from your everyday resources and pack it away at the end of your session. This is for a few reasons. Firstly, it keeps it safe, but it also means you know where it is when you go to run your session. Lastly, it's something new and exciting, and when you bring it out, it's a really good way to grab the children's attention and engage them in your session. So this is our OAK Active equipment, and as you can see, it's really bright and colourful and exciting. This equipment list is also in the back of your guide, so you can keep track of your equipment. So I'd like to take you through our guides a bit more in depth. I've tried to make them as simple and easy to follow as possible so that anyone, including casuals, can just pick them up and give it a go. Each activity page has your method or how to play the game. It will also have some options to make the activity easier or harder. It has teaching points, so what skill or technique we're actually learning. Some discussion questions to sit down at the end and reiterate what we've learnt in the session. And lastly, I also provide some information on the learning behind each activity, so you can literally copy and paste that and put it into your daily diaries on Storypark. So this is an example of a game called Beanbag Blast. Our method explains that for this game, the children will be trying to hit a target with their beanbag. It's not enough to just say, throw the beanbag. We actually need to teach the children how we're going to throw the beanbag. So we're going to look to our teaching points for the correct technique. So we've got hold the beanbag with one hand, start from behind the head, finish with a straight arm. Point at your target with your opposite hand and watch your target with your eyes. And make sure you demonstrate this as well. I cannot emphasize that enough. You need to demonstrate absolutely everything you're doing in OAK Active. Then we've got our discussion questions. Who can remember how we threw our beanbag? Yeah, we started from behind our head and finished with a straight arm. And who can remember what we did to work on our aim? Yeah, we pointed to our target with our hand and we watched with our eyes. And then we've got our information for our daily diary that talks about why hand-eye coordination is an important skill for the children to learn. So I've put together some frequently asked questions that I often get from the educators. Our first is, how do I do OAK Active with babies? This is a question I get asked a lot because often educators think that the babies are too young or they can't fully complete the activity. But every activity we do with the babies is really super simplified and it's age appropriate. So for example, if we're doing an activity with bubbles, working on hand-eye coordination, some of the older children may be able to reach up and touch the bubbles, but all we're looking for with the babies is for them to watch the bubbles with their eyes. And just tracking is still a really great first step of hand-eye coordination, and something as simple as that is all we're looking for out of that activity. I have a big age range in my group. What can I do about this? So this is often the case, and you may like to split your children into 2 groups based on their ability or their age. For your toddler and preschool age children, look to your making it harder or making it easier variations on your activity page. And then you can make it a little bit more complex or challenging for your older children, or really simplify it down for your younger ones. And for our nursery age children, we've already split the guide into 5 activities for the younger, less mobile children, and then 5 activities for the children who are walking. You're also welcome to use a combination of the guides. So for some of your older nursery children, you might like to start using the toddler guide. Or you might also like to use the toddler guide for some of your younger preschool children when they first transition. When can I fit Oak Active into my day? Some campuses find it useful to schedule Oak Active into their day, for example at 10 a.m. every Monday or Wednesday, especially when first starting out or before the program is really embedded. But the program has been designed in a way that you can be more flexible and fluid with your approach. You only need to do 5 or 10 minutes here and there throughout your day. You might like to use Oak Active as a transition, for example, some quiet yoga leading into sleep time, or even as a quiet activity for the children who aren't sleeping. Another example might be using our animal run activity as a transition from outside to inside. This is a game where you move at the pace of different animals. So you might say, all right, cheetahs running really fast around our yard, and then kangaroos hopping to our back door and sitting down on our mat slowly like turtles. You might also like to incorporate active into things you're already doing in your day. For example, with our nursery children, after nappy change is a great time to do some activities that require them to already be laying on their back, like bicycle kicks, which work really well for flexibility. How do I motivate all children to participate? This is a common question, and I actually have a whole video dedicated to this. You can find it on the Oak Hub if you search 5 tips for engaging children in Oak Active. But my general advice is to be really excited and engaging yourself, because the children get out of the session what you put in. You might also like to change up the activity to be based on the children's interests. For example, one of our campuses were doing an activity called Bumblebee Bop, where the children are bumblebees and they fly from flower to flower. But that campus was learning about space, so they made the children rocket ships and they were flying from planet to planet. What about the children who do not want to participate? This may be the case with children who are feeling a little bit intimidated or less confident than some of the other children. I encourage you to still invite them to join in, and if they don't want to, say something like, "That's okay, you can just watch, feel free to join in when you're ready." Just by being in the same room, they're still watching and listening and engaging, and often it takes a little while for them to assess the situation and learn the rules of the game before they're feeling confident to join in. What support is available to the campus? My role is to support you in any way that I can. We can set up a support visit for your campus either in person, via video call, or over the phone. I'm happy to run training with any new educators or to provide some extra support to individuals or teams who feel that they might need it. And my details are in the front of the guide, so feel free to email me directly with any questions or feedback that you have. I love to hear from you guys. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon.